You are the safety pilot for the CF-18. What does that entail? What does that mean?
That's right. So I'm the 2024 safety pilot for this year. So I work closely with Tango, which is the safety pilot. I'll back him up on some of this decision making that we do throughout the weekend for the practice, the actual shows themselves, and then transiting between shows. My responsibilities also include to transit the spare or the gray-tailed jet. So when I say gray-tail, I mean the second or backup jet that's not painted in the CF-100 colors. During the actual routine, I will be on the radio with Tango, and I will back him up with certain speed and altitude gates. So anytime the jet maneuvers in the vertical, I'll be looking for a radio call with the speed and altitude, which confirms for me and Tango that we're safe in the envelope. We can continue with the routine. I'll keep my eyes out for any hazards, and I'm basically an easy point of reference for Tango if he has an emergency and needs to land.
What's the coolest thing about flying a CF-18 jet?
There's a lot that comes to mind. This morning, took the jet from Bagotville to Greenwood. If you talk with the technicians that took all of our equipment here, they'd probably say it was about a 12-hour drive. It was only about a 40-minute flight for myself. So getting to travel large distances quickly is definitely something that's pretty cool.
Many moons ago, probably when you were much younger than you are now, like I was, but I was older. I remember going to the air show, one of the first times that the Canadian Air Force had the CF-18 at Shearwater Air Show, and it did a slow pass, almost like using thrust. And then the PA announcer said, "Get ready for what's about to happen next." And all of a sudden it went vertical and straight up. Have you done that one?
So I've never actually performed the demo routine as you see it here at the air show. I've had the opportunity many times to max perform the airplane in our training airspace up in Bagotville, taking it slow, fast, aggressive maneuvering. So I've done things very similar to that.
See, I'm like a kid in a candy store here talking about CF-18 fighter jets. To your best of your recollection, the highest you've flown and the fastest you've flown?
I've gone almost up to 50,000 feet, which is actually our limit. And fastest is about Mach 1.5, so 50 or so % faster than the speed of sound.
What's that like when you're in the cockpit? You see those videos all the time of when pilots are pulling G's and they kind of get thrown back. But what's the experience like when you're actually experiencing that big, however many G's it is?
It's an interesting feeling, I'll say, and it's exponential. So the more G's you pull, each incremental number feels like twice as much force on your body. And so once you start getting into the 6-7 G kind of numbers, I can really start to feel the skin on my face kind of pulling down.
So if I want a facelift, I should just go flying with you and you can pull some big G's and pull back the wrinkles, right?
Yeah, you might have some sore body parts, but yeah.
I believe that. Listen, we'll wrap up with you here in a second. But it's always curious to me how anyone gets into the career path and the things that they do. You're now flying a CF-18 jet fighter, but what was the genesis of that? Like, how did you get interested in the military and flying, and how did you basically get into it?
Well, we're at an air show, and that's actually how it all started for me. It was my parents taking me to air shows around Ottawa, Gatineau. That definitely piqued my interest. And then later on, towards the end of my high school kind of time, decided that I wanted to be a pilot and in the military. I wanted both combined for the challenges that it brought. And then here I am today after many years of hard work.
Last one for you. I see your call sign on your uniform, Picard, with the first name Jean Luc. I guess it seemed like a no-brainer. But I do want to ask, do pilots give themselves their call signs, or are they given to them by their colleagues?
Pilots will never give their own call sign. It's always decided by your squadron mates. Usually after a few months, at your new place of work, at the new squadron, once they get to, know you a little better, then they'll come up with something.
And how certain were you that yours was going to be Picard?
Not certain at all. There are a lot of options on the board.
Well, listen, we really appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this. And at least once when you're up in that jet, think of Scott from SaltWire and go, this one's for you, and kind of give her a little tug. Sound good?
Sounds good. I can do that.